The other week, an uncle on my fiance's side passed away, and I had maybe 2 conversations with him tops. I didn't really know him. But at the funeral, his nephew gave a speech about the man that he was, and it really moved me. He told stories about the times when his uncle was selfless, inviting, hardworking, but he even touched on some of his flaws, his vices, you know, the human stuff. And it just sucks that I really didn't get to know him until after his death, because to me, he seemed pretty bitchin'. But I guess that's the gift of funerals, right? No matter which funeral you pull up to, you're almost guaranteed to get testimonials on someone's legacy. But one thing I could not stop thinking is, what are the things that inspired him to become that person? Like, I know the broad strokes of his behaviors now, but what shaped him? And my first thought was I can ask some of the people that know him what his interests were. Maybe they'll give me a better sense of the things that shaped the person that he became. But then that thought changed literally the next day, when I was slapped in the face with crazy nostalgia. I'm talking the holy shit I wanna cry kind.
I was scrolling TikTok and came across a cutscene in Kingdom Hearts 1 near the end of the game that I had completely memory hold. Long story short, the main character Sora sacrificed his life to save a friend, and the villain is all like, mwahaha, he's weak, no one cares, and all his friends are like, nuh-uh, and then somehow revive Sora using the power of friendship or something like that. Look, this went hard when I was 11, alright?
But suddenly a flip switched in my brain. I remember where I was at when I was playing it, how I was feeling, who my friends were at the time, how I viewed the world back then. It was like taking a dagger right in the feels. And at that moment, it made me realize how many experiences, especially from childhood, quietly shape the people that we become. And there isn't anyone on this planet other than me who can identify the things that had the greatest impact on me. And now I'm in this feeling that if I don't consolidate that now, that data about me could be lost forever. And now I want to build something, a time capsule of sorts, something that will preserve those influences. So even when I'm long gone, I can leave behind clues to the person that I became beyond just testimonials.
And that's why I want to introduce to you the project Edia. Edia stands for everything that I am. I know, just let me be cringe. But it's a dedicated device that plays media that I completely forgot about, but that fundamentally shaped me on loop forever, or at least until the device breaks. And it will just live on my office wall, featuring in live streams, videos, you name it, hopefully forcing you to feel something deep within you as well. It's a Raspberry Pi 5 running a basic script, hooked up to a 5-inch DSi display, but I'm still working out the criteria for what belongs on this device. The only rule I've made so far is that when I look at it, I want to feel something deep. But I've already loaded it with a couple of different media for testing, and so for demonstration, I'm going to tell you exactly how a couple of clips shaped the person that I am today. Super Smash Bros. 64 opener. This game inspired me to get into game design. When my family moved from Virginia to California, the entire car ride I was obsessed with designing new stages for the game in a little composition book. It was quite literally the only thing I could think about for months. And to this day, this franchise brings so many of my friends and family together, forever goated. A clip from Star Wars Clone Wars. I remember being obsessed with this series when it came out, and this clip is probably the best from the entire thing. It's just a beautiful display of just how powerful a singular master Jedi is. The choreography, the framing, the use of silence, the sound effect choices, the lack of spoken words. Oh man, it's just a masterpiece. And honestly, this is my benchmark when comparing any and all animation. If you haven't already, please go watch this series. And if I someday get the opportunity to animate my comic book project, this 100% will be my North Star. And Zhao Zhao 3. This was a groundbreaking Newgrounds project at the time. For those of you that might be a bit too young to understand, this dropped at a time where finding this quality entertainment for free was a rare thing. This was before YouTube, so if you didn't see it in the theaters or on cable television, it probably doesn't exist. I've watched this more times than I can count, and this piece helped push me towards learning how to animate in my early years, and it really helped get me into that self-taught mindset. Long live Zhao Zhao 3.
Yo, do you get me? All of this media is gonna play on this device with zero context. So anyone that sees this clip won't know that I cried watching it as a kid, but that's not the point. The point is, everything that you see on this device somehow shaped the person that I became.
But enough yapping, let's polish this bad B up and add it to my wall.
What I need next is a custom case for it, because this is a multi-board wall, which is basically a 3D printed, customizable, standardized wall that I use. Which means I need to find a good case for this so that I can add adapters to it and hang it on the wall.
So I began to look for a 5-inch Raspberry Pi screen case model so that I can add the appropriate wall adapters to and 3D print it. But I might have been a little too quick with the draw because I printed this without doing any measurements, and this case was the wrong fit for my screen.
Wait a sec, are they not meant to be attached? Wait a sec, how does this work actually? It looks good, I guess, right? But then to get this like that. I would have to seat this one first. Is this rated for the wrong screen, perhaps? This might be printed for the wrong screen. Ay, ay, ay. Okay.
It was a complete waste of 6 hours. But after further searching and actually investigating the dimensions this time, I was able to find this model that seemed to be just what I was looking for. You seat it into this thing, you attach the pie to the back. I checked out the measurements, everything seemed to be on point. It's about a 2-hour print, and I hope and pray this will get the job done. So I only printed about 5% of it just to be sure, and sure enough.
Oh, that's kind of snug. Oh, that's snug. Oh, look how snug that is. Look how snug that is. I think we found our match.
And so I sent it to print, but it was a little too snug. My screen didn't fit in the full print, probably because I had to contort it strangely to get it in there just right. So I printed it again scaled up, and it did fit. But now I realize my pie placement is in a different place in the original modelers, and so the power hole doesn't line up. And so I printed out again with a bigger hole cut, but was not paying attention because I didn't make the hole tall enough. And then for a final time, I just made a big blowout hole for the power, sent that to print, and thankfully part 1 is complete. But now I turn my focus to the back piece because I needed to add the wall adapters to it so I can hang it on the wall, but I was afraid the weight might cause the device to fall with the back piece still hanging. So I also wanted to add some screw fastening to keep the 2 pieces one. But when I go to mod the back piece, it was taking 5 minutes to load every time I try to do something. I guess FreeCAD still needs some development time in the oven. But while I don't recommend this in most CAD cases, I hop over to Blender to get my dirty work done with no hitches or freezes. All hail the powerful Blender. And then the last and final challenge was trying to figure out the right orientation to print it. Got many failed prints, but just laying it flat with a bed of support was the best option in the end. But that's why the back looks so ashy. Removing all that support was a mission.
And here we have the final device. You can see it's playing a legendary Matrix scene at the moment. And yeah, it's really as simple as you think it is. There are currently about 30 pieces of media looping on this randomly. And I'll slowly be adding more over time as I remember to add them. But I love this project. Now, as you can imagine, it's impossible for this device to completely represent everything that made me the person I am today. For example, like racist experiences I've had as a kid, or fake being sick on 9/11 so I can stay home and watch the news all day, which have both equally contributed, if not more, to the person that I am. But the problem is I don't really have any media that triggers my racist experience. And I'm sure you understand when I say I don't want to walk in my office and see planes crashing into buildings every day. So there are caveats to this project. But disregarding the dilemmas, I hope you enjoyed the video. Shouts to all my patrons on screen. Y'all for real are the real ones, for real, for real. And next time, we'll upgrade this device to have an unmute button that I can press to hear the audio that's playing with the clip. Seems like a valuable ad, right?